Greetings, brave souls, and I welcome you to the final session of Season 2 of Star Trek Adventures Aegis. We are doing Part 3 of our season finale episode, Acheron. So before I get things going, I just want to make a couple acknowledgements. Particularly, we have a couple of guest stars, one of whom will be shouted out in links. They're more at present an occasional tabletop streamer, but DocBGA. Check out his other stuff. He's got a whole building channel of sorts that is quite nice. He's been looking at getting back to it eventually, such as life allows it. I hope that you enjoy what we have prepared for you today, and I hope that you, the players, enjoy finishing out this season here. Aegis is out on the farthest possible limb, out on the edge of what one might even say is forever. You are far from any support, any hope of aid, of resupply, beset by enemies that have chased you seemingly halfway across known space and well into the unknown. It all comes to a head at this ancient, unknown planet. What you have all discovered since you arrived here is that this place was always the destination of your expedition. This was the intention that Captain Lillian Sharpe had all along, to bring you here, or very specifically, to get here herself. As she has revealed to you, she is more simply than a regular Starfleet captain. She bears something else, a consciousness perhaps, beyond her own. One that, if you accept her story, is from the future. And that future, supposedly, is in grave danger. There is a space-time portal of sorts here, something called the Guardian of Forever, that would be able to give her the best chance possible to fix whatever problem there is with the timeline. An away team, led by her, including Marcus Horn, Dr. Xantar, the Suliban helmsman, Remora, and one of the Makos, Kirari Mora, Lieutenant Elena Melnyuk, have all made their way down to the planet, past ruins through a mysterious environment, one that grew hostile at a certain point, all to eventually find yourself beset by some sort of very personalized challenge, questions about why you would seek this out and what your intentions would be, and as part of that thrown, various temptations. While you tended to this challenge, the rest of the crew preparing for a grim and complicated situation. Commander Sheara has been left in charge of the vessel, and has spotted increasing numbers of enemies closing on your position. Kazinti, Klingon, even signs of Orion have been spotted in the vicinity of the system and are converging on the planet. At this stage, you have very little hope of doing more than holding the line, your only saving grace being that you are nestled in amongst bubbles of time emitted from this site where the Guardian lies. As Aegis readies itself to live up to its name and shield the crew from that which is to come, the landing party, you have made your way through your personal challenges with some pain felt along the way. And that has brought you to a site where you are greeted by a mysterious voice.
I am the Guardian of Forever.
Melnyuk kind of looks about confused if nobody else is doing anything just yet.
I think we knew that.
Sharpe just looks a little relieved. Great. You know what's going on. I need your help. We need your help.
The Guardian, with each word that echoes out, illuminates is driven by some unknown strange energy. It's each bit of wisdom imparted as cryptically, as sharp as you know from the history books, would be consistent with its pattern. To the rest of you, it seems merely to answer in riddles.
I must admit, not quite what I expected for a Time Guardian.
Long after the window closed, you arrived too early. Long before you took your first step, you arrived too late.
And my head hurts.
I know that, she says with a scowl. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't disturb you if I wasn't already aware that I arrived too late.
The flow of time's a river, meandering and bending through existence and through eternity, all caught in its flow. You come from a point at once here and yet further downstream.
Yes. And I know well enough about temporal mechanics to know that my home is gone. But the way that people have already interfered with the timeline, this is not how it should be.
The flow of time, like the river, bends and meanders by its own means, by the openness of eternity, is open to influence. That which flows from your time down the stream, the flow is long redirected.
Then show me where someone has placed the rock to redirect the flow. Help me restore the way the river should be directed.
You are, as you have come, is the now is not enough. Before your first step, you arrive too late.
The captain looks bitter.
Yeah. Right now, as the Guardian lays out this intransigent attitude, Melnick, for one thing, is taking scans of the feature.
Also, I imagine Melnick trying to scan this thing is like a 19th century person trying to understand an iPhone.
Kind of. She, at this point, is just saying, that's... So, this thing's supposed to be some kind of space-time portal. That... I'm so confused. This doesn't appear to be... I mean... It doesn't appear to be a portal in any way that would make sense. Or, like, it's not any machine of any sort that I would recognize.
By your grandparents' sort of perspective, think of it like a quantum computer. It is the last intelligence of a long-lost society.
I'm sorry, you still kind of lost me here.
It's hard to explain because in and of itself it does not have a equal, she says, and something you'll get used to longer in Starfleet, she says with a sigh.
Okay.
So
It is a custodian, the last memory of this civilization. A supercomputer.
A temporal supercomputer.
but more importantly, can it actually help us or not?
She just kind of glares at the Guardian.
Doesn't this thing want to maintain the timeline integrity?
It's saying that it's still, while the river has been redirected, it's still a river.
What does that mean? I mean, yeah, time still flows on, but it doesn't solve the issue.
It means the Guardian has decided it's not his job to define the actual meanderings of the river as long as the river exists.
Thank you.
Sort of one of my grandfather's Zen analogies, and I saw him recently, and wow, that was
Mora, you're picking up Romanov's habits.
Oh, sorry.
It's less than helpful.
A primitive analogy, as is the understanding of your science, but as close as you can come to understanding its nature.
Yeah, no, my head still hurts here.
Well, but whoever has changed the river, wouldn't they also see you as a threat in the long run?
Exactly, which is why you're defending yourself so extremely, as you know just as well as I that they can see you just as much of a threat to the change, even though you claim neutrality.
That's not the only thing.
How do you mean,
You-
Remor?
If we're using the river analogy, you can only branch a river off so much before that river runs dry. If he allows this to continue, there will not be a river left.
The flow of time, though redirected, is never erased. Time flows through all of us and through eternity. Is as constant space.
She just sighs and just kind of like relaxes a little bit. More of just like less tension. She says, I appreciate the ominous and honest voices, but could you switch over to Carl at the very least? Like we can talk like, or at least we can approach you more like a one being to another. Please.
The Guardian just goes quiet.
Oh boy. Did we break it?
No, Nick
So what are
says,
we supposed to do now?
I mean, I mean, this thing's not particularly helpful, but at least it's kind of giving us some information. Let's take stock of what we actually have here. Captain, as you've explained to us at this point, you're apparently from a different time.
Yes, from the future.
Something in your brain is from the future, though Lillian Sharpe has always existed here.
Yes.
That bit of time, based on this river analogy, no longer exists.
At the very least, it's no longer being selected, as it were.
Okay.
Let's keep it the river analogy. Just like land that gets nourishment from water, a redirection simply means that while the land is still there, it's just not getting the water anymore.
Okay, so it might be it's not so. There's still some. You think there could still be some echo of it, or well, I guess by your own existence, okay, such that things are objectively are the ontology of the thing, if you will. She says, starting to wave her hand, exasperated as she has to perform a different science miracle in the form of inventing temporal mechanics on the fly for this time.
Yes.
That
By the way, good. I will give respect to all the science officers of every Star Trek after playing one just as a support character. Good God.
Yep. So the basic idea is that the time, like a timeline, if it exists, has to have some kind of let's call it ontological inertia, I guess. Like it exists.
It still has to go downhill.
yeah, it exists and it carries on, and it's a whole line. But apparently, some of those can be. Man, I don't understand whether this is
Keep
supposed to be like one consistent timeline or if you
keep
can.
to the river analogy. It is
Okay.
a river going down the mountain. There
Okay.
are it has originally for many years gone in the same relative direction no matter how many redirects somebody has redirected with enough stones along the river to completely reroute it. And while it's still going downhill, it has now been redirected so hard that my land is no longer being nurtured.
Okay.
My hope is talking to the person who's been observing the river to find where exactly those stones have been placed and either preventing those stones from being dropped in the first place or removing them.
So, just seeing the moment first, instead of trying to like. Let's make clear to the Guardian we're not trying to use this thing. We just want to we just want to see, get a sense of it, and maybe if we, if we peek in, then well, I guess if the timeline is mutable, then there's no reason we can't see a version of the outcome and then go back and change the outcome and, I guess, fix the captain's dried river bed. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
She just kind of gives like a flat, like it would be amusing if it wasn't, if not the right moment type of expression. She says, to answer your question, and given what I understand of the habits of the Guardian Forever, it doesn't trust us as much as the people who have already put the stones in there. The damage is already done.
Well,
The damage is already done. The stones are already placed. You can't simply remove them. Or so without being as much of the perpetrator as the initial perpetrators, she says, looking over at the Guardian.
But that's the difference. We didn't do it ourselves. We didn't rely on our own technology. We ventured out and found someone who knew what they were talking about, knew what they were doing, and go about it the safe way. Shouldn't that show some type of semblance of us trying to do the right thing compared to the others?
Just because you're given a nuclear device from somebody else doesn't mean that you aren't going to be responsible with it, she says.
well, what can we do to get the Guardian's trust? I thought this what this whole test was about.
I think its test was even bothering to talk to us, much less let us get even close to it. Right now, it trusts us enough to even allow us close to it. From what I understand, she says, like a pointed look back at the Guardian.
At this point, Melnick kind of like rubs her forehead. There must be other possibilities. I just don't see it yet. But maybe. Well, do we want to try and ask just about at least seeing the moment where everything went awry?
She looks like Sharpe looks exhausted, like decades have been on her. As she just looks back over the Guardian. Yes. Can I see, at the very least, the moment in which history has been so sharply changed? What was the first stone dropped? Please.
Behold, a portal into times that have already been.
Within the portal's threshold, you see the blackness of deep space. You see light casting from a star as it glances by. And you see ships, ancient, something slightly familiar, but not quite to any of you. You see them in the vast multitudes. First dozens, then maybe hundreds. It's difficult to make out. But you see their sight a planet. One blue-green and seemingly capable of sustaining life. And you see them veer towards it until, as it rounds the night side, something dark, something cylindrical. You see the moment where these ships close to a distance, and as brilliant lights lance out from the object, as ships are torn asunder, venting and scattering in all manner of way. You see what quickly seems to be a terrible tragedy in the making.
She frowns. When is this?
As the image disappears from your sight, and the Guardian takes a moment before it illuminates once more.
This is from times that have long since been. As you are here, you cannot change the flow.
Can you send us somewhere where we can change it?
The Guardian dims for a moment. I actually think here, right at this point, I think I'm going to cut the scene just for a moment to leave you guys to ponder that. Say,
Yeah.
the question is a good one, but it translates into something else that we'll have to get into in a moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, Zach, props to you for making an awesome Guardian Forever. You've been doing awesome with this.
Doing my best. All right.
Took forever to put together.
I think that I'm taking the threat back that I used to end that scene.
Oh no, I've gone too far.
God damn it.
If you said Gorn too far, I swear.
I'm never appreciated anywhere.
You know how he likes to cling on to the old puns.
Ugh.
Oh no, Xantar falls
Yeah.
into an abyss.
Xantar is erased from time.
Just Thanos snapped away. I don't feel so good. Ash.
No. I don't think Cheesy would ever forgive me if I did that now. Anyway.
No, I would not.
Which is why we want. Aegis is readying itself for a very dicey situation. The crew at this point has gone through as much preparation as it can on short notice. The probe has been a probe has been dispatched to, at the very least, give you a bit of advanced warning, or to, well, I think it was more to make sure that nobody snuck up on you. It is also just as a passive thing. It is going to help you with... it will assist you by giving you basically a sensor readout to show you when... It will make sensor tasks easier. Alright, I'm going to place you guys here on the bridge as Sheara, you start... we're going to come back in, and at this point, you have been delivered a pad, this one from the Armory, with a tactical assessment of the... basically the size and type of arriving ships based on, like, the info. Technically, it'd usually be something from the Sciences Department, but I'm going to say that sensor data was basically routed to the Armory, who has been rehearsing against different combinations of foes, and would essentially have, with all the drilling, they would know a bit about each of these ships. So it's the information that you have on hand. I will likewise drop this for the since information has I already gave you this information. I think that at this point it is going to be this is going to be common knowledge for the bridge crew, so you can exposit some of the details here as desired.
Sheara will look at the data pad. Well, it doesn't look too bad. The Klingon fleet only contains one D5 cruiser, 2 D4 light cruisers, 4 Vontalk class birds of prey, and 3 Raptor class scout ships. So that's only 10 ships. Let's see, the Kazinti, they've got a command vessel, 8 cruisers, and 6 very small combat pods. So that's okay. And so that's only, 15 ships there. And, Orions. Or Norsicans. Oh, that looks great. 3 Orion battle cruisers and 9 Norsican raiders. Good.
And a partridge. Sorry.
Good. Okay.
How is the as far as our supporting characters on the bridge? How is the mood on the ship at this point?
Steward has been listening in, but she has been too busy trying to keep up with the temporal mechanics that she is learning how to create and actually use to find all these mines as they appear, because it makes no sense.
Good. And she's doing a great job.
She is stressed out of her mind.
Keep doing a great job, Steward.
I'm busy.
Excellent.
Alvarez is just sweating bullets. It's just
That's all right.
constantly checking the weapon systems and rechecking them, and then forgot that he checked them, so he checks them again.
Look, see just how many ships they had to send against us to even come close to matching us. 36 in total, I think that is.
Wait, what?
36.
Says the steward busy moment away from her work.
Just everyone on the bridge just slowly turns to look at Sheara, just like...
She was literally just listing out the fleets there.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. But Steward was busy. Steward was distracted.
Just, you're busy.
Right. Busy.
Busy. Okay, right. So, how far are the Kazinti and Klingons from intercept?
At this point, the helmsman, who is very much regretting following along with Remora's play, or rather the navigation officer, who is very much regretting following along with Remora's play, Mr. What's his face?
Mr. What's his face? Yes.
Kesh.
Who's more what?
He is. He's looking at the telemetry and saying, "I would put it to about minutes before we get an intercept. They'll be still some time before they have weapons range, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to lay their claim."
Oh, hopefully they'll end up fighting each other.
There's only one of us. They can't exactly... I don't think they would want to share, if anything. Steward says, trying to...
Klingons and Kazinti strike me as the types not wanting to share anything.
Neither Orions.
Orions are a trickier sort.
So you think perhaps that I don't know about you, but I am not liking my luck if you think that these different groups are if you think we're going to have any situation other than coming under essentially immediate attack, and that anything that happens is going to...
Breaking up.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
I was hearing you just fine.
Yeah, I heard you just fine too.
Sounded good for me.
Gotcha. Let's see.
Discord's Discord, so it might just be a number of problems. Who knows?
Fair enough. But anyway, maybe I am just a pessimist, but I am not liking our chances in this situation.
But who's the closest at this point?
Sirs, the Klingons and the Klingons and Kazinti are managing to keep relatively equal distance. The Orions are pulling in at what I would say would be a leisurely maneuver. Sorry, I can't help but look at the sensors over here. Get away from over my shoulder. Back to your station.
I'm in engineering, but can I hear this?
I mean, you could not be in engineering. You could be working from the bridge.
Yeah, Romanov could do.
I think the plan was to have me in engineering, but I believe I can pipe down the bridge, right? So I can listen to it.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll call up, see if you can get the Kazinti to go after the Klingons now. I mean, they're all headed for the prize, but if they start fighting, that would be great.
Also,
no, I don't know.
God damn it, she says under her breath, starts scratching, like deleting like a whole bunch of math. It changed again. Captain, we could also just talk to the Pirate Queen, since, you know, our own captain's married into it. Maybe there's still some sort of family, in-law sort of propriety.
Assuming that's who it is.
I mean, where that is the connection, wasn't there? That's why the whole thing of being pissed off in the first place. I don't know.
Well, let's hail the Orions. See what.
Sirs, the Klingons and the Kazinti are both opening hailing frequencies.
Oh. To each other or to us?
They appear to be a broad channel, but the signal is directed at us.
Okay, let's listen into them first.
I'll put them on split screen.
Yeah. Oh, please do. Thank you.
All right. So, ahead of you, you see two. You see two figures. One being a Klingon man in a sparsely illuminated but slightly blue-tinged, seemingly dirty but metallic bridge setup. The Klingon man with dreads and sort of minimized leather armor glances through his one working eye, brows furrowing, while the other chair seems to, well, it almost looks as though the channel is being held from some sort of broader, more luxurious chamber, though you can vaguely pick up the sound of consoles beeping on and off, suggesting that maybe this man is also running, has just got some sort of egregious setup with a throne. That said, the Kazinti, as you found him, is quite unlike any other. He looks, based on what you can gather, to be a much larger and more fearsome sort than the hunters you have dealt with. I guess if he were drawn to full height, he might close 8 or 9 feet tall, with an old, mottled, yellowish mane, and a face that would seem to fit a snarl, and that eyes over you with all the regard of one looking over a fresh, succulent meal. The two begin talking at once.
Earth vessel. This is Admiral Durog. You will surrender your vessel immediately.
Earthship Aegis, you've scampered far enough, but the chase ends here. Power down your weapons and bring your Grand Huntress before me.
Pharisee vessel, you have no right to this
Hello,
ship.
did I die?
These humans are wanted for crimes against the...
No, I'm going to restart that here. I'm playing it off the Roll20 sound. So, you guys are going to want to unmute your Roll20 to hear. Otherwise, well, I can share things if, like, you guys aren't running off of headphones or something. Oh no, that's still kind of be weird. You guys might just want to go to push to talk if you don't have headphones available.
Yeah, Brian, can you go to push talk?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I should have clarified. The following audio will play with Roll20, and Craig, part of the Crichton will punctuate during a certain point here, so as to give you the opportunity to mute that. But
Give me a second.
okay, let me know when everyone's.
I'm pretty sure I'm fighting the guy on the right in the D&D later this evening. So.
As an additional little note on the Kzinti gentleman, the seeming like crest above his chair it bears the same sort of scratched claw marks of every Kzinti vessel that you have encountered. So you can guess that.
Pride Falcon. Yeah.
No. Yeah, you can guess that very likely a sigil of the pride that has been chasing you this whole time. Right. Are we all
Okay. One more second, and okay, go.
Sure thing. The alternative, I guess, would be switching, just muting yourself during the segments here, but it's whatever works. The two start speaking at once.
Earth vessel, this is Admiral Durog. You will surrender your vessel immediately.
Earthship Aegis, you've scampered far enough, but the chase ends here. Power down your weapons and bring your Grand Huntress before me.
Pharisee vessel, you have no right to this ship. These humans are wanted for crimes against the Empire and are enemies of glory.
Your empire is not my concern. My hunters have traveled long and are prepared to earn their taste of flesh and victory. Stay out of my way, and we may leave some scraps behind for you.
Crichton interjects it.
We do not come for dregs. We are here for justice.
Sirs, I'm adjusting the volume. There's, the Orions are also hailing us now. Should I switch over?
Yeah, let the Klingons Kzinti have their diplomatic talks.
Yep. So switching over to switching back to the bridge here. Crichton mutes that as the Klingons and Kzinti both get increasingly animated. And Crichton switches the screen to a different visual. Commander, the face before you is an Orion woman. One who would almost look slightly familiar, or something in the face that you can recognize. She's at once slightly older, but she is the sort of a timeless beauty. One of whose every gesture seems to portend a bit of elegance, an element of just thoroughly being above every situation she would find herself in. And, a grace that belies the capacity for violence that this person could wage. The banners all along her, the blade at her side, the attendants just barely in frame, whom she effortlessly waves off, suggests her command of the situation, as if every single element is deliberately staged to make you feel as if you should not. It is dangerous to be in her presence because she has had command of virtually every moment up to this point. Lazily casting a glance to you, she furrows her brow in a bit of puzzlement.
An Endorian? On an Earthship? I didn't think the guard would spare anyone right now, though I guess she always did have exotic tastes.
Who are you?
The Pirate Queen Zhilosaa, Tabati of the Botchak Nations, Custodian of the Azure Lanes, Kaju and banner holder of the Great Nazikin Compacts.
A lot of titles. Well, what can I do for you, Your Majesty?
Answer me one question. Where's Lillian Sharpe? Or Edna Teach, whatever the nine hells she's calling herself these days. I have come to collect her.
Sheara's antenna will flex in exasperation. Join the queue. I'm afraid the captain is unavailable right now.
She cocks her head very slightly to the side, her eyes very slightly narrowing.
You seem to have mistaken me for someone whose time you can afford to waste. You'll find that a very costly lesson if you don't learn that right now.
Let me rephrase that. The captain is not here right now. She's not on board. What do you even want with her?
She leans back, kind of looking off into the distance before prattling on, steadily sharpening each movement, each wave of her hand.
Call it a personal matter. One that I have to resolve with her. Or consider it an affair of state since she locked away the heir to one of the most influential families in the Orion Syndicate. One that cannot bear the stain of captivity from some upstart from a backwater planet.
You followed us all the way out here, past Klingons and Kazinti, around all these spatial anomalies out to the middle of nowhere, for months. Couldn't you have waited until later?
Oh, I would have done this sooner, but I didn't know where Edna Teach had disappeared to. I only knew where she was when she named herself and the ship, claiming she was part of the royal family in passable Orion before one of my bannermen. Once I learned, my ships had a much easier time following her trail. And so far as those obstacles are concerned, never underestimate what the fury of a queen, of a mother, can accomplish.
Crichton at this... Sorry. Crichton's, internally just grimaces as he remembers back. That time at Famous.
It's that time with Famous, yes. Let's hope he isn't around. Why not just go rescue Visenya? Why are you troubling yourself with us?
I may be angry, but not foolish like those hordes Sharpe has attracted. An attack on Earth would be a costly venture and too difficult to find one person. Better to bargain for what the humans cannot resist. One prisoner in exchange for the life of a Starfleet captain. Maybe even a whole crew.
You plan to use us as hostages as well?
Not if you don't have to be. Not if you're smart, and the smartest thing to do right now would be hand over Sharpe.
Your Majesty, Lillian Sharpe is in high demand. The Kazinti want to make her the main course of tonight's banquet. The Klingons want revenge and maybe to eat her. I'm sure you've heard the rumors about what Klingons do to defeated foes. I can't give her to them, and they definitely won't be giving her to you. Now, if we survive this, then maybe the captain will want to speak to you when she returns from her mission.
Ooh, that sounds like an effort to bargain or negotiate. Give me a presence plus command roll, and
no.
I am going to expend what remains of my threat to increase
no.
your complication range to 3.
Oh, dear.
Oh, the negotiator.
Okay, so, right. Here's the thing. Sheara is still very much a security officer. She has no focuses on diplomacy. Nothing. So, we do not have any focuses. The only way we can get a 2 on the dice is only going to be through just rolling a natural 1.
Also, determination.
Also determination. But I also don't have anything to re-roll dice, do I? However, I do have.
We have 3
I
dice.
do have diffuse the tension, which, whenever you a talent which says whenever you attempt a task to persuade someone not to resort to violence, you may add a bonus d20 to your dice pool.
Nice.
So
Nice.
hopefully that is applicable in this situation.
I will very much allow that.
Good. Because that's something Sheara picked up between season 1 and season 2, and it's her only command-related thing. Okay, that's 3 dice. So we then got momentum. So we can spend 1 for another dice to bring that to 4 dice.
Yep.
So complication range of 3. No focuses present. Task. So
And determination. Determination, my buddy.
yes. So determination.
And she should get a lower target number from having received very good Vulcan massage, which relaxed her and prepared her for this moment.
I'm still setting the difficulty at this 1 to 5. This is a hard gamble you are trying to make, Sheara.
Difficulty of 5. So fudged.
Now,
Okay.
bear in mind, you go for the auto crit, then you do yield any chance of getting rid of complications.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I could spend momentum.
So, yeah, we still got 2 momentum.
Momentum to get rid of a complication. So there's still that on the board. Okay.
Can
right.
anyone assist in any way?
I think this is all on Sheara here.
Yeah. This is. Oh dear. Okay. Right. So yeah, I think I'd.
Blue dog, it's your day.
four dice. That's an average of 2.4 successes on this kind of dice roll. Determination would bring that to 4.4 average, which is still short of the difficulty 5, but gives it at least a half a chance, I suppose. Okay, right. Let's spend determination.
Will you be taking the auto crit?
Yeah, let's do no one left behind, because she really doesn't want to leave behind the away team.
I will accept that. So you have automatically scored 2 critical successes.
Okay. And with a complication range of 3, so that's 15% per dice. That's 0.6%. Okay, right, 60%.
Stop thinking about the odds. Just roll.
Look. I'm an accountant in real life. I do maths. Okay. Well,
You're playing this to escape from real life. Stop counting.
Okay.
Yes, you're playing this to escape the stresses of real life. Now, make the roll on your life and death pitch.
Yes. Right. Open fire. All weapons. Oh, 4 successes. Oh well, not too bad.
Well, you did not complicate.
Oh damn! That 13 was just 1 away.
You still came very close, though.
Very,
It isn't like a full-on fail.
It's an admirable effort.
It should be like a partial success at least.
Well,
it's
given how far the complication range went, I'm going to say that you guys were like, you guys at least didn't get the worst result. So at this point, Zhilosaa, in all of her majesty, glances at you.
Wait, hang on. GM. GM, Zach, my good Lord and Savior, Master of the Universe, GM in the Great Barrier, if we spent the last 2 momentum to create an advantage and get that last success to reduce the setting, could we bring it down to 4?
Or would
You
like to
guys,
threat?
you guys might want. I mean, the threat cost, as Zhilosaa would say, is going to be very dear cost indeed. But I'm inclined to say that I think Zhilosaa is unmoved even by my pleas or the pleas of momentum.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I appreciate it. Honestly, you buttered me up too much. Now the bread's soggy and nobody's having fun with this anymore.
Damn. That's fine. I'll just microwave you.
Well, now definitely not. Now you get the complicated ending. No. But Zhilosaa, in all her majesty, glances in your direction, Sheara, and she looks as though she earnestly ponders your offer, but then just gives the very slightest shake of her head.
Not much of a bargain for me. Not if you're looking for me to help you clean up more Sharpe's mess. No, I think I'm just gonna sit back and let the consequences of her actions catch up with her. And then I'll take Sharpe from whoever is left.
As she lets this off and you prepare rejoinder, sir, the Klingons and the Kzinti are getting a bit more heated. Crichton resumes.
Oh,
Right.
right. Yes, let's listen.
Yep.
If you try to take them, we will claw you to pieces.
You boast of your strength, Farrison, but your ships are as toothless as an old Grishnar cat. I will not be moved by your roar. Like any other hot dipper, you require the pain stick and chain to know your place.
You fools! You will find our claws and teeth sharp enough as they tear the life out of you. My warriors shall earn their names today, heralding your death.
Then today is a good day to die.
And with that, yep. With that, various consoles start going off as immediate sounds from each one indicated that the exchange of disruptors, torpedoes, and nukes on the board ahead of you. So at this point, Kesha's going to say, they've begun firing at each other.
The science officer kind of pulls away from the visor. I can tell. Ow. She says,
Don't look at the nuclear explosions, Stuart. Don't look at them.
I feel like at this point Bernard just appears next to Sheara and just, would you like popcorn, ma'am?
No, shouldn't be in engineering.
Oh, I am. He just fades away.
Damn, that Xantar in his teeth.
Well,
At the same time on the planet, where's my fucking cloaking device? I had it with me before I left, I'm sure.
let's see. So, realizing that they're all still in the GM layer.
Oh my lord. A cluster.
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant.
I mean, it looks familiar, doesn't it, Greg? There's only like a giant Romulan warbird missing, and it's a very familiar scene.
Well, at least we had some help back then. But oh Jesus,
Did we? Did we though?
So, as a note here, I'm going to say at least some of the Klingons and Kzinti are engaging off the map here, fighting with the rear guards. The Nausicaan squadrons are also hanging out of the engagement zone, but the main sort of forward groups have all are tangled up right next to each other. So just as a matter of getting things started here, I'm going to, let's see, just make a quick couple dice rolls just to check on behavior questions here. All right, so let's see, and then that's not set right, so change that, and okay. Well, they're not so. Oh wait, I rolled the ship on that. Let me just change. Okay, that's all right. Looks like the Klingons are taking the initiative, and they are going to be the first to, just lay down an engagement. A wing is going to split off, based on the. So, I did run the tactical sim last night with a couple options based on how this goes. The first set of ships from the Klingon fleet, a pair of bird of preys are going to come along and try to gain the upper hand on a Kzinti cruiser. A pair of them are quickly going to move to reinforce, so this winds up not quite going in the fashion that the Klingons were postulating. I'll make that. I realized I did all these rolls last night, but I'll use this one just to illustrate things here. And that, yeah, no, it is actually remarkably close to what I had from the last time. So the 7 there, and then, oh yeah, there. So the pair of birds of prey try to go in, but the three Kzinti cruisers and the birds of prey begin opening up fire and causing it to disperse. As the remaining groups engage, the squadrons further split off. A raptor and a couple more another bird of prey goes to engage with some of the other Klingon cruisers, Kzinti cruisers, and the main thrust of the Kzinti group wedges in towards the primary command ship. The nukes and torpedoes are exchanged as the disruptor cannons and ionic cannons pulse out, lighting up the Klingon and Kzinti shields respectively, with flares of green and white flying amongst them. The battle begins to go back and forth as nuclear fire and bursts of antimatter consume ships, and only by virtue of it being early in the battle, where they still have intact shields, do they seem to survive the initial barrages. As maneuvers take the battle seems to fall into a general pitch, where the birds of prey are maneuvering around, the raptors likewise bobbing and weaving even through the Kzinti lines, whereas they charge in and start laying down fire. Meanwhile, the main cruisers, the D5 in particular, but soon reinforcing D4s also coming in, stay largely stationary as they mete out terrifying fire from their larger cannon arrays. The main Kzinti cruiser likewise uses the fighters and a couple of the screening Kzinti cruisers to engage. The initial results suggest that some of the Klingon squadrons take pretty considerable damage. At least 2 birds of prey and a D4 suffer massive damage to their shields, while the first round seems to leave the main attacking Kzinti group very much diminished against the Klingons. So effectively, there's, without going through everything that happened with the other sets of roles here, the Kzinti groups are, 3 of them are coming out of this pretty well busted up, while a major offensive grouping has managed to get the better of the Klingons. Unfortunately, as part of the role, one of the Kzinti groups, or rather, one of the Kzinti cruisers detached that was not engaged, and they are going to begin to close in here. So they are actually going to fire up impulse engines for a task, and Aegis itself is now going to find itself in combat. Depending on whether they can actually close the distance, I suppose. So let's see.
There are mines.
Yeah,
Or
they're
rather, temporal mines.
Yeah, so they are basically running this task at a complication range of 3 in order to get to you. But that... Ooh,
Ooh.
Nice.
Alright, so that is, I think, going to be enough. Since it's a single ship engagement, I am going to say the Kzinti, they do technically succeed, and they even at this point earn me back 1 point of threat for their success. However, the cruiser is going to be badly buffeted as it sails through the zone. More accurately, moved it up here. I'm fudging the impulse rules a bit because technically on this half of the line it should actually be complication 3, whereas on this half it is a 2. So I don't want to overwrite.
It's all background setting. So
yeah, and that was a natural 20 anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But yes, a Kzinti cruiser is bearing down quite fast. It does shrug through a time bubble that sends it careening slightly I'd say it sends it careening in a very abrupt maneuver that would have shaken a lesser ship apart, and indeed might have, was about what happened to the last Kzinti cruiser. The difference is that ship was caught at warp trying to go through something like that. So they are suffering a breach to their structure. Yes, they are closing the distance, and now the turn has gone back to you guys.
Yay! Okay, so what range does that count as? Medium, is it?
Let's see. That would be long range, technically.
Long range, okay. And remind me again, what are the operating ranges of our own weapons?
Torpedoes and the single drone is long, and then
spatial
that's
is medium.
Yeah, spatial torpedoes are actually a medium range weapon.
Oh, well then you're right in the right range, and everything else is short because phasers are knife fights.
Delightful. Okay, good. All right. We could try a torpedo shot from here, I guess. What do you guys think? Torpedo shot?
Yeah, go for it.
Be an extra difficult. So I guess difficulty 3 on the torpedo shot since it's one outside the.
It would be difficulty 4. The base range for a torpedo attack is actually 3.
Really? Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, I think they changed it sometime with a modified version of first edition. So.
Okay. Right. So that's probably exactly the same difficulty as using phase cannons then, because they'd also get a difficulty.
Yeah. I'm actually going to change the music here slightly. There we go. But yes.
Do have the advantage of giving us lots of momentum if we hit.
But they're close range, aren't they?
They're close, but they would both end up being difficulty 4. Well, I'd rather try to get the first shot in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is to be drone spammed by the Kzinti first.
Yep, or have a nuclear missile go off in our face. So, what do you think? I think it's probably best to go phase cannons because they can go with, refill momentum pool if we get a hit and lots of those Starfleet emblem things.
Go for it. So you spend momentum to add an additional die?
I don't know. Do we? Because I'm not the weapons officer.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, are you giving the command to fire?
Yes. Open fire with
Okay, that's at
phase cannons.
increased difficulty then, because that's medium range?
It is, just to clarify, it is close range, and the difficulty of the task is, it's a difficulty 4 task right now, to hit with phase cannons. It is control plus security. You are assisted both by Sheara giving you the command, so presence plus command. You are also assisted by the ship with weapons plus security.
I've already got that ready.
Justice likewise says bringing us around, getting forward cannons on, bringing forward cannons to bear.
Definitely spend momentum to get an extra dice on
Yeah.
this. I mean, you got help from Aegis and Sheara, so that should be a total 5 dice we're rolling. So I think we should be able to
Hopefully.
get it.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay, control security. Focus supplies. Let's roll.
That is 3 successes from Alvarez.
Nothing from
none-
Sheara. Nothing from the
Yeah,
ship.
Oh god
Well,
damn it.
shit.
Okay.
that's-
This ship wasn't built for combat, okay?
No.
It's not built. It's barely built at all. Oh well. Oh well.
So let's see. The initial array of phase cannons fire outbursts. Unfortunately, like Alvarez, you wind up having the targeting mostly correct, but the time bubbles that you've mapped out you hadn't accounted for. So you actually aimed for where they were going to be instead of where they actually were.
damn it, Alvarez! You have to think backwards before thinking forwards.
You wind up sending shots about 200 meters across their bow.
Well, if you would send me some comprehensible navigational data,
All right.
technical
keep it
data, some
down.
data, goddamn.
Look. Just you have to factor in anti-time before using the phases in a direction toward proportional to the region you which want to shoot.
What even is anti-time?
Very good. Just keep it down. We'll hit them next time.
All right. Meanwhile, let's see, as we go back to the battle grid, the Kzinti.
I'm gonna have to order us to a draw. I can't be guaranteed to take on one ship without hitting them first.
Well, you do have the momentum if you want to keep the initiative. That being said,
We do.
there
but-
there are options besides running. I'm going to say
You can
that.
make it's
Okay.
more like they have just as much difficulty as we are right now in the minefield. We could probably make evasive maneuvers. We have the bonuses. We have the advantage
Can
of
lead them
knowing
into
the minefield.
yeah.
So if we do evasive maneuvers, it's even harder for them to shoot us. As we
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
do you want
Alright.
to keep momentum then,
So,
or
well,
keep the initiative?
let's spend our last momentum on keep the initiative. Then Justice can do evasive maneuvers,
Cool.
which will probably be an increased difficulty because of the temporal anomalies.
If you
But
had,
Justice has determination too. So
Uh,
Cheesy, would you care to grab Chief Justice here?
Absolutely. What was the roll again? I'm so sorry.
The roll here is going to be daring plus con. You are assisted by the ship's engines plus con. Just as a note, Xantar, since Pete, since you're handling the ship's sheet here,
Yes, sir.
this will take a point of power as well.
Okay.
Also, Cheesy, do you remember you have determination right now?
Would any of my focuses apply? I don't know if they would.
You're a pilot, so I hope so.
I believe Justice would have something relevant here.
If not, you're activating them, so you can give them one.
I'm gonna give him God, what is this ship called?
You could say just impulse drives or impulse maneuvering.
That'll work, thank you.
He got the focus flying the fucking ship.
Yeah.
Sublight maneuvers, how about?
Sunlight maneuvers. There we go. Perfect.
All right.
Let's go for a bang and go with the crit. Double crit. Staying cool under pressure is easy.
That's our Justice.
Yeah.
And then what was the complication range again?
Complication range, since you have since you actually can detect the time bubbles and know where they are, I am going to say that you have effectively. I'm going to.
Before.
Yeah, it was 2 in the further out zone. The zone that you are presently in is very dense with them. I'm going to say complication range naturally is 2. You can avoid most of it, but new bubbles are forming, and there's a risk that you might not be able to respond quickly enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just for context, the complication range would otherwise be 4 right now.
Ooh,
So
good lord.
you did things to help you out. Okay. That is 2 successes. Let's plus the 2 from the auto crit. Then Pete,
Ship
if you can.
assist, sorry.
Yes, engines
Yes.
plus con.
Engines plus con. Coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Finally a crit.
Yep. The difficulty of this task would generally be 1, but I think that the time bubbles and accounting for all of that makes this a difficulty 2 task. However, that still means you gain a total of 6 successes with your rolls, the ship, and the auto crit from determination. You gain 4 points of momentum back, and Aegis is now going to be more difficult to hit as Justice fires up the impulse engines and zips every which way, trying to create as difficult a target as possible. So, with that, the difficulty of this next attack that the Kzinti are about to make will be more difficult. As I expend my last point of threat, it was nice to have it while it existed. Let's see. So, zero that out, and set the other to 4.
Built for this fight.
But they are going to fire a nuclear torpedo. They are doing so at long range. I actually spec'd their torpedoes to be medium range, so they're operating at a difficulty of 4 already. Evasive maneuvers make this a difficulty 5 attack. Let's see if they can actually hit. Oh, with 1 success, I don't think that is even possible at this point. Nope.
Meowsers.
They only score 2 successes, firing off a single nuke, which manages to snake through the various time bubbles, so its trajectory is a little unsteady. I'd say that it winds up losing tracking and begins curving off around the planet, likely likely to make landfall somewhere else, just firing in that general direction. Thankfully, it is at the very least, it's very likely at some distance from you, like the away team. So,
What's
Man,
that
good that no one's on the
mushroom-shaped
planet.
cloud in the distance?
yeah. Yeah. So turn order goes back to you guys now.
We can go back to Alvarez and have him fire, just without the
That's a
benefit of the
difficulty
captain.
5.
Difficulty 4 because
No,
if
it'd
they're
be
not
difficulty
maneuvering.
5 because he's having to do the same task again in that round.
Also, evasive maneuvers make it more difficult for you
That'd
to
be
shoot
difficulty
out.
6. So
Okay.
we're not shooting. We've had our shot. It missed. What would be good?
Create more distance.
Well, we have to stay within. The thing is, it's a defense mission, so while we're being maneuverable, we're staying within the zone of the Guardian forever as well. Can I, as steward, create some sort of using the deflector, create some of the disruption effect on their sensors to make it harder for them to hit us, or perhaps have it increase their complication range. Perhaps they might accidentally target themselves or time.
What was that?
tumbles.
That thing with the space creatures where they weren't able to, where they emitted some kind of electromagnetic interference, and we then used them to help escape the pirates.
Ooh, no, that could be two. But also, GM, is there any way where I can create bad math with one of these portals and create them larger?
That sounds like a task that would be. I feel like
Can
that's
I make it worse?
God. I feel like that creating that sort of advantage is maybe a little outside of what would work.
Still within the 22nd century. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Like a good direction, but I feel like there's messy things involved. You're not sure what a deflector would do, probably.
It probably is too much bad math, let's put it that way. All right. How about I use my deflector to dampen one of their engines and thus make it less able to maneuver?
If you want to try and focus the deflector out, I could give you a roll for that. It's going to be difficult just because you're trying to extend it out. It's also, I think it would consume a bit more power than a standard roll.
Yeah.
So,
Can we science bubble this and use the time bubbles to create mirages of the Aegis or something like that?
Ooh, that's a good idea too.
And remember, we have our long distance probes too.
Well, you had one that was out there. Let's see. A lot of variations on creating an advantage or the general sort of pitch. I think that
I want to create like a further complication range issue for the Kazenti.
Yeah.
Because we're already at difficulty 5, and that's hard enough. I doubt the GM wants us to go to difficulty 6 as much as we want to. So I'm saying instead, just increase the complication range for the Kazindi.
Let's see. I respect that, and I want to make something work for you guys on that. I'm just pondering how best to. What is most easy to justify here? Perhaps. Let's see here.
The nuclear bombs of the Kzinti are primitive, right? Like we've seen them used more than often, right? They're not complex devices. Yes?
True, yes.
Could the science officer fool the sensors on the torpedoes and have them pre-detonate, like at a short distance? Thus creating complication in their weapons.
I'll tell you what, if you want to kind of angling off the Mirage angle, if you want to create the chance that the torpedo maybe locks on to what it thinks is the Aegis, or like it sees duplicates of them, and that would cause it to like fly towards a bubble and detonate earlier. That might be a way that we can make this work.
Okay.
Otherwise,
works for me. I'll take it.
Yeah.
We're in dire straits. I'll take anything.
Yeah. Because this is like something that trying to think of how best to manage this. It's not something that Steward would have any particular specialty with. So I think that I'm going to call this at least a difficulty 3 roll, and this is going to be reason plus security.
Not reason, science? Okay.
Could the ship assist?
It will assist, yes. In this case, since you are using the sensors to... trying to basically create... you're using the deflector to try and... Or no, you're using the sensors to try and find room for, like...
I'm basically throwing white noise in the direction of the targeting systems with my own sensors.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a correction. Steward can run with reason and science, but the ship will use sensors plus security.
Okay. I have no focus here. And I'll spend a momentum to increase my dice. I do believe I have cautious. Yes, I have cautious science. To make it 3. And okay. Yeah. So let's go. I'm gonna use it. No. Okay, I'm spending momentum to just buy that off.
You have cautious, so you can re-roll that
cautious.
D20.
Yes, I have cautious.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Do it.
Wrong.
I'm gonna buy that off. I'm gonna buy that off.
Natural 20. Well done. Yeah, buy it off.
Okay. So, you expended a point of momentum to bring yourself down to 3 points, and then succeeded for 3, or with 3 successes on the board. However, you rolled a complication, which you have elected to buy off. That will take you down to 1 point of momentum. So, with that, you've created what you think should be the white noise, as it were. Just managing to create increased difficulty for their the use of their nuclear weapons. Let's see. The Kzinti warship is going to it's going to attempt another navigation task, which means a more difficult task for them. They have to use thrusters, which in this case will be a difficulty. There'll be a difficulty 2 task now, with an increased complication range because they are moving into this zone here. I'm still going to stick that at 3 as they try to make their way through. 1 success and They're playing it slow enough that they are not actually going to be able to quite move to well, I will let them succeed at cost and bring them into medium range. The cost will be that they're trying to make very erratic maneuvers, not so much that you would have difficulty hitting them, but enough so that like they're figuring something must be up, so they are moving slower as a result. Meaning that they don't quite rush into weapons range to hit you right away. So you are now effectively at medium range. Torpedoes are at optimum difficulty, or you're at optimum torpedo range of each other, basically. Of course, let's see. If there's anything else you'd want to do, I think that, let's see, Rominov could still act. Otherwise, I think that covers everybody. Everybody that has a character.
Just checking, is the ship at full power?
Could I try to increase power?
You can. This will be control plus engineering.
Got it.
Yeah, and I believe I have a talent for this, so give me 1 second to just glance at that. Okay. I have pair team leader, miracle worker. A little more power. When you succeed in an engineering task aboard your own ship, you may spend 1 momentum to gain 1 power spent. So...
Yep, that would work.
Okay.
And we'll set the tone a little bit. Down in the engine room, you are feeling the buffeting as thrusters and impulse engines alternate, kicking you in all manner of directions. The ship's core is sounding repeatedly, alerting you to both power consumption as well as issues monitoring stability. Alert klaxon presently sounds throughout as everyone has long since made it to their stations, but you are making sure that basically everything is intact. Bernhard, since you would be around at this point, and since the ship can't help in this case, so this still gives you a way to be involved. Bernhard, you round the corner and you see Rominov one hand sometimes going to the back rail to hold herself steady, propped in such a way that any of the buffeting doesn't throw her about. You see Rominov working quickly yet seemingly serenely with the warp core. Power consumption has been increasing, and you realize you're going to need to either start pulling from systems or try to increase the reaction in the chamber to restore power levels.
I will try and add something more to the system.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing as well.
Power.
Let's increase power.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Okay, I'm going to say, since you're this is still situation normal in some ways for you, I will allow a control plus engineering task with a difficulty of 2.
Control plus engineering, difficulty 2. Do you guys want me to spend... We've only got 1 momentum, right?
Yeah,
there is only one point. Yeah.
Okay.
Bear in mind, any momentum you generate from this could go either to restoring power or your pool. It'll be a split choice.
How much power are we needing to regenerate?
As much as we can, because we've got a big fight ahead of us.
Well, yes, but there's a maximum power level, so how...
Yeah. I think
currently we are at 5 power. We were at max power before. We spent 1, so we are 1 below at the moment.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Good.
Okay.
No.
Do you guys want me to spend my determination at this point?
No.
Okay.
I will also say your power levels can exceed the normal maximum if you decide, but you are lower on momentum than you are power.
Okay. Then let's generate. If you want me to generate some momentum, you really want me to spend 1 momentum on this, then. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, that might be wise.
Okay, so I'm rolling 3 dice. And this is warp field dynamics or electro power systems.
The
So,
EPS is definitely relevant.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I have Starship Power System.
So here it goes. Difficulty 2.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
We'd like the
Okay.
ship to roll as well.
The ship does
Is that
not
possible?
roll in this situation.
The ship does not get
Never
to
mind.
roll in this situation. That is
Yep.
correct.
Cool.
But with 4 successes, you don't need it, as you begin alternating, basically increasing the matter-antimatter reaction, with each setting each precious bit of the power system. Rominov, as you press the reactor into higher and higher levels of consumption, the words of Chief Fernier linger in the back of your mind. The concerns about levels that the levels of consumption, the fact that at this point it is looking increasingly dire as to whether you will be able to make it to a friendly port, to say nothing of home. And yet,
Right.
you weigh that, you consider too everything the captain has told you. Everything
Let's just
this
make it to the end of the day.
Yeah. Everything that this journey has been about, though recognizing that each press will make it that much harder for you to get back if this still persists.
Right.
You press forward. You earn yourself 2 points of momentum as a result, and the ship's full power is restored.
Yay. Okay. Back up to 2.
There is also just the moment of like Bernard just like pulls out a couple of random like power cables and like, oh, this you do, slams them both together and just gets blown back for a minute.
Yep.
I'm okay.
Leska will help you up.
It's alright, sir. Not the
Back
worst
up
I've
to
ever
2
taken.
minutes. Good.
Okay. With that, I think that turn order should basically reset. In this case, you guys can reset here. Aegis does get the first go. At this point, I think evasive maneuvers still they continue, I believe, up to the Helm Officer's next task, though I'm going to double check that here. In that situation, once again, you are in optimal torpedo range for the time being. However, the torpedoes, since you are evading, they will take on an increased difficulty to shoot. Or to hit.
Bob and weave, gentlemen. Bob and weave.
I think just transferring over to the next turn because we're pretty evasive. There's not much more we can do.
It is the next turn.
Oh, it's full on next turn.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the next round. Then.
Yes.
Oh, it's starting the next round. Well, then let's just fire. Let's just fire.
Yep. I'll tell you what. I'll give you an momentary interlude to consider your options, Sheara, as more of the battle plays out. At this point, the squadrons have slightly reformed in the broader battle happening outside of range. Raptors pairing up with the Raptors that have settled in with a couple with one of the D4 cruisers. Try to press their advantage against the try to basically press in and flank the main Kzinti cruiser. Unfortunately, they find themselves immediately caught between two groups and suffer dueling attacks that wind up leaving, I would say, two of the Kzinti ships that tried to surround them in turn badly damaged. A couple of fighters sacrificed for the main ship, or to shield the main ship, but wind up leaving the remaining the Klingon squadron pockmarked by ionic pulses that shred through the armor, and salvos of nukes that connect, one Raptor being vaporized completely, the D4 catching one partially with its shields, but breaking through just enough to sever the main command boom and sending that careening in one direction, and the engine compartment with the disruptors and such careening back in another direction. However, the one of the Kzinti groups that was otherwise doing well finds itself facing a sustained barrage from disruptors of the other Klingon ships, and the wind up basically being fought to a standstill. The main cruiser occasionally shuddering from an errant torpedo blast. It seems as though the forces are largely contained, although the Klingons have suffered some casualties that are shifting the battle against them. The Orions and the Nausicaans presently remain uncommitted. But none of those are your immediate problem, Sheara. The main one lies with the Kzinti cruiser that is still bearing down on you, however slowly.
Okay, right then. So So we've got one momentum. No, we had 2 momentum left after the
Yes.
after the power roll. Okay.
Yeah, 2 momentum.
Okay. Right. So I'm just reading through a couple of things. A sensor operator can scan an enemy vessel for weaknesses.
Yep, it would be
If
difficulty
this
2 at
succeeds, the
this
vessel's
range.
next attack before the end of the sensor operator's next turn gains piercing 2 quality, ignoring 2 resistance for effect. So my thinking is, Steward does the scan for weakness. We then spend 2 momentum to keep the thing initiative. Then we fire torpedoes. What talents and focuses does Alvarez have?
Alvarez has fire at will, and he ignores the difficulty increase from keeping the momentum.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Very useful.
That's very useful in that plan. Did he have an activation today?
I think this would constitute his activation for the adventure.
Find something really very helpful. That's your task, Felix. Find something very helpful you can add on to Alvarez. Because that talent is very good for this. So I think perhaps Steward does this scan for weakness. We then spend our momentum. Hopefully there'll be momentum to keep the initiative. Then we fire on them. Okay, sound good?
Works for me.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, Steward, scan the approaching Kzinti vessel for weaknesses.
I'm busy trying to map out these mines as they're happening.
Good. Scan.
Fine.
Yep. Kesh calls over. I should be able to use your program to keep an eye on them. Find the Kzinti weakness and we might survive.
You'd rather keep her right. You know what? You handle it. She says, yeah, scanning.
So
All right. So what is it? What's the rule?
the roll at this point, I'm double checking. Craig, you had that sheet up, didn't you?
So it says the sense operator chooses a single target they can detect. Cindy Vessel attempts a control plus science task with a difficulty of 1, assisted by the ship's sensors plus security.
Okay, and that difficulty would increase to 2 because you
So-
are still one,
Yes.
a zone away from them.
Correct. So it's a difficulty to control
All right.
science roll for
Yep.
Stuart.
However, I think that the advanced sensor suites do technically come into play here.
It is a census task, yes. So
Yep.
back down to 1.
Yep.
Nice. All right, let's go. Gonna make a roll. Also, nope, I used wrong
Perhaps
thing.
an extra
My bad.
dice there. But you do succeed, so
There you go. Two.
hooray! Excellent. Ship can
And the ship
also
assist?
help. It's
Yeah, sensors and
security
sensors,
and
yeah.
sensors and security.
No, no lack of it.
But
Okay,
still,
well-
you gain the momentum from that.
Yes, you gain back 1 point of momentum. Steward flicking through the sensor suites and getting into the visor. It's a veritable mess as you see distant readings of radiation plumes, energy surges from antimatter explosions. You recalibrate to a short-range scan in order to focus on the oncoming Kzinti cruiser, moving along its erratic course, venting plumes of radiation seemingly by design, which give you show very unhealthy levels. But through it all, you are able to locate some signs of fluctuations in their shield grid, possibly from issues with the their structural integrity, and are able to start relaying that to tactical.
That's how. God damn it! That's the best I got. I can't see anything else in here.
Good work, Stuart. Okay, so that puts us at 3 momentum, so we can now spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative.
Yep.
Bring us down to 1 momentum. So, hopefully, so it will be a difficulty 4 shot for
Yep.
Alvarez to make.
I have to make a correction. The fire at will is only when I fired, keep the momentum, and then fire again.
Ah,
I
I
do
apologize.
Yeah. Alvarez, I do have a suggestion for a new talent here, if you don't have any ideas.
I mean, the only thing I could offer was like full spread maximum yield, the Solek talent,
Yep.
or
that was my
precision
thing.
targeting.
You know what you must do.
you could also go with cautious security.
Why would we do that?
Yeah, you spend a momentum, you just get a die re-roll.
I mean, honestly, Alvarez would probably take the opposite one.
What,
what's-
what
what's your-
talent were you
I like bold
suggesting, though?
security.
Yeah, bold security.
is
I mean,
good
you know,
range.
he's here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a long time.
I like
Okay.
bold
But so
security.
like where?
Sheara approves
we
of
could-
bold security.
We can formalize later, but would you prefer, Felix, the full spread or full spread maximum yield or bold security? If those are your top 2. Or I guess precision targeting was also mentioned there.
Precision targeting is what you need for this task, right? Doesn't that reduce it by 1?
No, it gives me it basically if we target a specific system, I get to reroll 1 of the d20s in the dice pool, and the attack gets piercing 1.
Shit, that's a good deal, and exactly what you need to make the next shot.
And I mean, not exactly. Targeting a specific system would make the would also make the
It makes
task
a roll
more
more
difficult.
difficult, doesn't it? Yeah.
Difficult
Oh, I
to
thought that's
roll.
what you're already
Like
trying
I
to
think from let's put it this way. From the situation that Alvarez is currently in and his past success at firing, which is now broken due to the first shot, I think maximum yield is like the logical choice here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Which, for our audience at home, means that Alvarez has just picked up a new... Ensign Alvarez has picked up a talent, which makes him skilled at torpedo attack. In addition to the normal benefits of a salvo, the attack also gains the benefit of devastating attack, so that'll do an extra breach. And let's see here.
Assuming we hit.
Yeah.
Assumption.
So basically, you are upgrading a salvo as though 2 momentum had been spent.
Yeah, the devastating attack feature.
Yeah, you get free devastating attack. So are you firing a torpedo salvo then, Alvarez?
I would assume so, yes. Otherwise, it would have been a bit pointless, I think.
Yep. All right.
The shot to fire a torpedo salvo from this ship, to be honest.
Yep. So that would be... All right. The GM does take 3 threat for a salvo attack.
I mean, you needed a threat. Let's be honest.
Yeah. That's the business of torpedoes. Okay. So with the scan for weakness, I am double checking just to make sure. Let's see here. I just don't remember if that affects difficulty on that.
I don't. It just adds a
Okay.
piercing thing.
Yep. Okay. So that
you really need to hit.
yeah. So Alvarez, this is a difficulty. It's still a difficulty 4 task to hit.
Luck.
1 increase
one
being
momentum.
because of evasive maneuvers. You can use the point of momentum. You can buy additional threat with the. You can buy additional dice with threat if you prefer.
I'll go with you threat. I think that has to be enough. That has to be enough for now. Later. I would definitely take a die for
before
for another die.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sorry, before I do this, the Broken Sword crew is out for revenge for earlier in the week because Zyla OXO, our ship's engineer, has given you a free player advantage, has decreased the difficulty on this roll, and has given you a free point of momentum.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
You so much.
What did you do to them?
Yeah, what did you do?
Okay.
It can't be talked about without
Okay.
lawyers
So
being
decrease the
present.
difficulty. That's down to difficulty 3.
So difficulty 3. Should I still use the auto crit?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
This is pretty much our last.
This is the last.
Okay.
task.
Because because we can't.
And which has turned out to be the most valuable talent ever. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. It always applies.
Value. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Spend it for the auto crit. Spend 1 momentum for an additional die. Thank you very much for the broken sword.
Fire.
As applies.
We will.
Controlled security, correct?
Yes. So this is control plus security with a difficulty on that task of 3.
Yay!
All right.
4 successes.
Back.
Yep. With the and the ship does assist with weapons plus security. It does not expend points for power here.
Security, nice. Nope, no luck.
Nope.
Okay. Well.
Does Sheara get another support? Because
No, this was all you.
okay.
All right. Let's see. Let me just edit one little
We hit
thing here.
something, guys. We hit something.
Hey.
Now we can dump our momentum on this and really make it hurt.
Okay.
We can dump our 1 momentum.
Roll damage for torpedoes.
We have more than 1 momentum. We have 3.
Okay. Good.
That is
No.
special torpedoes?
Yes. Roll damage on these spatial torpedoes, which, because it is a salvo, they have taken. They're basically it increases the challenge dice rolled for damage. So
Yeah.
You already increased that? Okay.
I already did, yes.
Oh,
Okay, so just to check before we have that before we get this taken care of, you guys should You guys, I think we're down to 1 momentum before the spends happened.
Okay.
Zyla gave you 1 back. Or
Yay.
rather, he gave you 1 which got spent. You earned it back, so you should be at 2 points of momentum right now.
Okay.
Cool.
The torpedoes that you have fired have they do have the piercing 1 quality to them, but you have no effects at present. You have basically 3 zeros and 5 by the numbers. So, how do you want to spend momentum?
Space tasks. Or
I think
momentum,
we need-
sorry. Momentum determination. Space combat. I think we should re-roll.
Mm-hmm.
Spend 1 momentum re-roll, and then we'll do 1 more die for bonus damage, maybe? Or penetration. Penetration. Let's get rid of that resistance.
That would spend all our momentum, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So reroll just the 3 zeros, or do you want to go all
3
in?
zeros, because the rest are fine. 1 and 2 twos, that's
Okay.
good.
Then
Hey,
Ooh.
nice.
So,
And then,
And then-
they lose 2 resistance as well because of penetration.
yep.
Yeah.
So, your torpedoes lance out, Alvarez firing off as quickly as the magazines will reload. The wave heads through, darting on their course past the time bubbles, past the anomalies, and swinging around into the various points where the shield grid fluctuates. The Kzinti vessel, not anticipating this style of attack and not thinking much of your weapons, is poorly positioned when the sustained barrage collides with their shields and begins breaking through. Torpedoes making contact with the hull in vulnerable areas strained by the anomalies. That collapse. That is first and foremost going to collapse their. Well, it's going to score a breach just by virtue of collapsing the being at a certain level. So that is 9 points, which would be resisted for. It only resists 8. No, it should do a total of 9 damage after resistance, basically. So that is... No, it's 9 damage. It resists 1 point. The shields are just barely flickering up as you hit crucial shield emitters. So while you won't collapse the shields, Oh wait, actually no. The scan for weakness also did that. So you actually collapse their shields by hitting crucial points in their emitters.
Yeah.
Nice.
As a result, more torpedoes will cross through their forward command section, sowing chaos and confusion. And then the final wave will collide with the wing mounts of the nuclear weapons. Although not hitting the missile pods directly, several of them have plasma streaking from space around them as they lose large bits of power. At the relative 3 breaches inflicted by that, the Kzinti vessel, I think, is going to be sent into a spiral as they lose their momentary, as they lose equilibrium here. I'm willing to call that basically. Well, from the bridge, you see as the ship crumples up in places and how fragments of the hull just spray off as the torpedoes rupture and send plumes of atmosphere out into space, as well as leaking plasma.
Good shooting, Alvarez. Nice scanning, Steward.
Well, that will buy us time for the moment.
It will, yes.
But You know, Sheara, that it is but the moment that you will have. For as the battle between the Klingons and the Kzinti continues, although they trade heavy blows, one victor will inevitably come your way, and past them, an Orion fleet that will that Aegis could not hope to stand up to, nor likely any of the survivors here. So, as you steel yourself for what is to come next, and prepare for that final encounter, we head back down to the planet below.
Can we see the lights going on above us?
I'd say that the environment is a bit cloudy, and or like the ambience is not so conducive to what you were hoping for.
Right.
So, indeed, you have very little sense as we come back down to the planet. How much time has passed? The chronometers have been giving variable readings, such that any of you have continued to check them. Your scanners are barely giving you anything reliable other than just the sheer power of the Guardian. Melnyuk has all but given up on trying to explain that as you work your way through philosophies of time and whatnot. But you have wrestled in part with the issue of a crucial question. The Guardian has explained to you at this point that, as you are equipped here, you could not hope to alter what is going on back in the... Whatever change has occurred to the timeline, whatever event kicked this off, which seems to have been a just terrible, slaughter of some sort, you are not in a position to correct it now. So...
we asked a question of... Oh, yeah, we saw the thing, too. Right.
Yeah. And I will say, I used threat to cut off the scene early. Very particularly, I was also kind of retconning to cut Marcus's question off right at that point.
No.
So I wanted to save it for later. You have the ability to think about it right now if you want to discuss it amongst yourselves.
What was my question? What did I say?
I'll give you a quick reminder. As all of this is going on, I think that everybody is... the conversation has kind of stayed focused on what you've seen. To which Melnyuk is saying, well, if this changed with some event around a planet, who knows how long ago, I can't help but wonder, maybe it's saying that it's... If we could get aboard that ship, but no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what if that ship is also from the future, I guess you're the expert there, she says, waving to Sharpe, then that could have all manner of advanced technologies. Hell, the ships that we saw getting attacked could be advanced relative to what we've got, so that this is a science question, it's not?
How do we bring the river at least even close to where where it should go? What's the even point of sending me here?
Is Sharpe directing that conversation to the Guardian?
At the Guardian, sorry.
You exist not only here, but in a time that flows further down the stream. Though that time is long since gone, that future is no longer where the river flows. You bear that piece of you. As long as you exist, memory of the river's flow remains.
She looks pained. I know that. But the future that holds for this place It's... I don't know. She just looks stressed. At a loss. I have done everything I could to navigate it in any direction more favorable, to more beneficial for everybody. The good future that held for this universe. Are you saying it's because of whatever interloper gotten involved now that it's now doomed for a more chaotic, a more darker path? Is there nothing I can do? I'm just one captain.
As you are now, as you exist here, you cannot change the flow as you are here, as you are now.
Then help me, help my crew get to a point where we can fix it. We can do something, anything, to push in the right direction. You told me, you try to teach us that there are some things we cannot fix, that time in of itself has to flow, both good and bad. I get that. We all understand that.
Your lesson seemed to be that careless meddling in time is reckless and dangerous. But whoever did this was clearly reckless and dangerous. So it should be in your best interest to help us in any shape or form you can.
Thank you, Horn, she says with a small smile.
You seek a place to change the flow of time.
I wish to return it as best as possible. Similar to Kirk. You did the same for him. Please let me do the same for this.
This one I have not done, and may yet one day do, or not. Whether that should come to pass, whether time as you knew it, as the flow once passed, is a task that may still be done. Whether the river may yet turn again, still awaits. It will be perilous. It will be difficult.
I understand. I wish to ask, if I do maneuver it back, will there be that peace here for them?
If you succeed, the flow of the river may alter as it was, may return to what you know. But that flow shall sweep aside all that has been and is yet to be. That flow of time, if changed, may prove even too much for one who exists here, yet exists elsewhere in a future that no longer exists.
I'm willing to go.
As am I. I have already done so much to protect it. I will do so again.
Behold, then, a portal, a vision, into events yet to come. Places you shall pass on the path forward.
The Guardian seems to emit a fog as the portal around, as the threshold within takes shape once again. It is something of a blur as it passes through, but with each moment you can make out different places. Vistas of planets on day and night, some familiar. You are certain that you at least see glimpses of the nighttime images of San Francisco Bay. The frozen vistas sweeping across Andoria. See planets that you don't recognize. Habitable and maybe even inhabited. But not familiar to any of you. You see glances across space. And you see the shapes of great ships out on the move. Some familiar, some undoubtedly Starfleet. Others flitting dark against the night. Others barely seen. You see various faces before you. Officers you recognize. Others you don't. Some with the occasional smile, but many with looks either grim or simply determined. Faces of Suliban, of Nausicaans, of Vulcans, of Andorians, of Tellarites. You see faces of the passengers by, and those dressed strangely as if an anachronism of a time long since past on Earth. An unusual glow about them. Then you see a blurry room, Captain, and a silhouetted figure standing around. Looks as though they're just simply tending to something when they look over their shoulder and they stop. They see you. Takes a step closer. Reaches out a hand. The hand seems to press flat against the surface as if they are on a screen. They press it further. They try to pound it. They are desperately trying to reach you. There is something, somewhere that sees you, Captain, that understands something crucial or wants to, but it can't quite get to you. Something that, in somewhere in your head, as much as it hurts to think about this, something familiar. And then before you, the image of what appears to be the interior of the Aegis, the bridge. With Sheara at the con, dispatching orders as it seems to be in dull combat illumination. On this path, you... wait a minute, I need to switch voices, don't I? Whoops. Okay, let's get out the crunchy bits. Come on.
Am I cosmic yet?
You are. It's fine. It's all good.
You're good.
On this path you may proceed. When you leave this place, so too shall I. War is coming, and I must not be used. by those who would disrupt the flow of the river any further.
Thank you. I know I asked a lot. Travel well.
Farewell.
Okay, let's see. Remora, Horn, anyone parting thoughts before crossing through the threshold?
No, this has been pretty surreal, very she's interpreting this through sort of a Buddhist, Zen Buddhist, lens. No, she just wants to get back to the Aegis. This is pretty wild.
I'm
Moore's
not
just
sure
gonna
if
say,
we. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Good luck, everyone.
Safe travels.
Let's go. And she steps through.
You step through the portal and and the six of you find yourself on the bridge.
Oh,
Yep. Sheara, you haven't fully registered this yet. As Crichton calls out, says, "Seriously, Captain, the Kzinti are breaking through the Klingon line to the main battle cruiser. There's a lot of interference from that, but it looks as though they might be getting the better of the Klingons. Some of them look to be on collision courses. Wait, what is this? Captain, I'm seeing some sort of space-time disturbance, bearing at 282 Mark 0.
is it on collision course?
No, object is holding stationary position off to port.
Steward, can you get a scan on that?
Belay that, says the captain.
Ah! But,
Serious, when did you get
welcome
here?
back.
Timey-wimey
Welcome back.
stuff.
We've got some friends.
So I've noticed.
Since we're all here, I think it's a good time to withdraw. By the way, your mother-in-law's here.
Of course she is, she says with a sigh. Hail her very briefly.
She wants to speak with you and then use you as a hostage.
Sir, there's entirely too much interference between the space-time object and the weapons disruptions here. I don't think we have any recorded voice lines.
Yeah, she'll just smile and just kind of give like a small smile and says, "Well, she's used to me sliding between your fingers." All right, Remora, Justice, if you don't mind, Remora can take your place. Remora, make good, best speed toward the portal.
Towards the portal?
You see before you on the view screen, Sheara, as Kesh has adjusted that, what appears to be a large rocky object has appeared, hollowed out in the middle. It's some sort of oblong donut, and in the midst of it, a glowing white energy distortion. This object is, I would say, in scale close to... It is larger than any space station that you have ever encountered. Or like any single shipyard or anything. It is very easily, very conveniently able to fit the Aegis in size.
Where does this portal take us?
Away.
To where we need to go. And out
where's
of
that?
this situation. Crichton, give me shipwide.
Yes, sir. Stand by. Sitting. Okay. And You're on, Captain.
This is the captain. I understand quite the situation that I put all of you in. But understand that what we do now is going to be a journey in which we can hope for a peaceful future. One in which we have created here. And hopefully we can have the rest of the Alpha Quadrant understand. It has been a long and hard journey. And I ask you one more time to trust me as we cross a threshold and try to do our best in achieving that future. I want all engineering teams to brace the ship as much as possible, prepare for significant turbulence possibly. For everyone else, lock yourselves in. We're in for a ride.
Can we get back from this? Sheara's asking Horn at the minute while Sharpe is doing a speech.
It's only one way to find out.
No!
Come on, Sheara. Where's your sense of adventure?
Adventure can go to hell. What the? Do you know where this? You don't know where this portal goes.
It probably is better than here, come on.
Granted.
Sometimes, Sheara. It's a leap of faith, she says with a smile. Besides, do you really want to go back to the home that we have left the way it is? Or try to fix it?
I haven't been home in a couple of years. I'd be quite happy to go home, yes.
Well, let's clean it up then before we get there, huh?
Can you promise we can get back?
She just gives you a smile. Looks back over to Remora. Remora, quarter impulse, easy going, but let's get through it.
Boldly go where we haven't gone before, Captain.
All right. Well, Sheara, with, undoubtedly, with your uncertainty, with your, with not knowing what this heading will take you to, with the rest of you either realizing this is either along for a ride in what is what would otherwise be trying to depart grim circumstance, and Captain for the faith that you are taking this on, that you might yet find some way back to a future. Hold on. To a future that you haven't known, and above all, the hope that all of you can go back to a home that you, a home that you hope you will find is still intact for you to get back to. Aegis will cross the threshold and disappear into the light of the portal. And with it, so too shall vanish the portal. And it is into that uncertain future that Aegis goes, and that for now we must leave you with. So that is all for us today. That is all for Season 2 of Star Trek Adventures Aegis. We hope that you enjoyed this, and that when we come back, that you will enjoy this in turn. Until then, if you have been following us here to this point, then I hope that you have enjoyed this season and the past one as well. If you would like more to wait while you wait for us to return, I would highly implore you to check out the talented crew over at the Broken Sword campaign, who has also just finished up their second season. In any case, we hope that you have a good, safe time into the years to come, and that we shall see you on the other side.